The best way to avoid a dangerous situation while driving is to A. Know what is happening around your vehicle. B. Turn off the radio. C. Always keep your eyes focused ahead of your car. A. Know what is happening around your vehicle. Always be aware of what is happening around your vehicle. Constantly observing your surroundings to the front, sides, and rear of your vehicle will help you see problems that may require you to change speed or roadway position. Which of these statements is true about large trucks? A. They take longer to stop than passenger vehicles. B. They all have air brakes that allow them to stop quickly. C. They are more maneuverable than passenger vehicles. A. They take longer to stop than passenger vehicles. Large trucks take longer to stop than other vehicles traveling at the same speed. The average passenger vehicle traveling at 55 miles per hour can stop within 400 feet. However, a large truck traveling at the same speed can take almost 800 feet to stop. When passing on the left of a vehicle, it is safe to move back into the right lane. A. After about 3 seconds. B. When you can no longer see the vehicle over your right shoulder. C. When you can see the front of the vehicle in your rearview mirror. C. When you can see the front of the vehicle in your rearview mirror. When passing another vehicle on its left, you may move back into the right lane when the headlights of the passed vehicle can be seen in your rearview mirror. Always signal before changing lanes. This yellow warning sign means A. You are approaching a school or school crosswalk. B. Slow down, drive with caution, and watch for children. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. This sign is placed on roads near schools to warn drivers to slow down, drive with caution, and watch for children.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
If your vehicle starts to lose traction because of water on the road, you should A. Drive at a constant speed to gain better traction. B. Apply the brakes firmly to prevent your vehicle from sliding. C. Slow down gradually and not apply the brakes. C. Slow down gradually and not apply the brakes. When driving in heavy rain at speeds as low as 30 miles per hour, your tires may lose all contact with the road and instead ride up on a layer of water above the surface of the road. This is called hydroplaning. If your vehicle starts to hydroplane, slow down gradually and do not apply the brakes. You are entering a freeway. Check traffic on the freeway by A. Using your rear view and side mirrors. B. Using your rear view mirror. C. Using your side mirror and looking over your shoulder. C. Using your side mirror and looking over your shoulder. When entering any roadway, you must be aware of traffic conditions. Use your side mirror and look over your shoulder to help you see and anticipate traffic when entering a freeway. When you see a flashing yellow light at an intersection, you should A. Yield to all traffic before crossing the intersection. B. Stop, then enter the intersection when it is safe to do so. C. Slow down and cross the intersection carefully. C. Slow down and cross the intersection carefully. A flashing yellow light at an intersection indicates that drivers should slow to a safe and reasonable speed and proceed with caution. How many alcoholic drinks does it take to affect your driving ability? A. 3. B. 2. C. 1. C. 1. It is not advisable to drive after drinking any amount of alcohol. Even a single drink will affect your ability to drive safely. Regulatory signs are A. Green, B. Yellow, C. White. C. White. Regulatory signs inform drivers of specific laws that must be obeyed. Displayed laws may be about traffic direction, lane use, turning, speed, parking, or special situations. Regulatory signs are commonly white squares or rectangles with black, red, or green letters or symbols. You are driving on a city street and see an emergency vehicle with flashing lights behind you. What should you do? A. Drive to the right edge of the road and slow down. B. Drive to the right edge of the road and stop. C. Stay in your lane, slow down, and let it pass. B. Drive to the right edge of the road and stop. You must yield the right of way to any emergency vehicle that is using its siren and lights. Drive to the right edge of the road and stop until the emergency vehicle has passed. If you are within an intersection, drive through the intersection first and then stop. A broken yellow line beside a solid yellow line indicates that A. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the solid yellow line. B. Passing is not permitted from either direction. C. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken yellow line. C. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken yellow line. A broken yellow line alongside a solid yellow line means that traffic in the lane next to the broken line may cross the line to pass, while traffic in the lane next to the solid line may not. Your license can be suspended if you are under 21 and drive with a blood alcohol level of A. 0.15% or more. B. 0.08% or more. C. Any amount. C. Any amount. There is zero tolerance for alcohol use by drivers under age 21. If you are under 21, the detection of any trace of alcohol in your system will result in stiff penalties, including the suspension of your license for 2 years. To avoid traction loss on wet roads, you should A. Make abrupt turns. B. Apply the brakes firmly. C. Slow down. C. Slow down. To prevent hydroplaning, lower your speed in response to wet roads and keep your tires in good condition. If you detect a loss of control, take your foot off the gas, do not apply the brakes, maintain the direction of the vehicle, and allow the vehicle to slow to a manageable speed. When may drivers stop in travel lanes? A. When they're lost. B. When they are dropping off a passenger. C. Never. C. Never. Do not stop in travel lanes for any reason, confusion, breakdown, letting out a passenger, etc. Keep moving until you can safely pull off the road. This sign means A. Pedestrians walking along the road ahead. B. Pedestrian crossing ahead. C. Pedestrians must not cross here. B. Pedestrian crossing ahead. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign alerts drivers to where pedestrians may be crossing. If a pedestrian is crossing in a crosswalk marked with this sign, drivers must stop and remain stopped until the pedestrian is no longer in the crosswalk. You should not use your horn. A. When visibility ahead is limited. B. If you might hit another vehicle. C. Near blind pedestrians. If you are getting tired while driving, you should A. Stop and either get rest or change drivers. B. Drink something with caffeine. C. Open a window. A. Stop and either get rest or change drivers. To avoid the dangers of fatigue driving, take breaks every hour or so during a long trip. If possible, share driving responsibilities with another person so you can each sleep while the other person drives. When you are behind a motorcycle, you should A. Be ready to use your horn. B. Drive more slowly. C. Allow a larger following distance. C. Allow a larger following distance. When following a motorcyclist, allow for at least a 3 to 4 second following distance. Motorcycles can stop quickly and following them too closely endangers your life and that of the motorcyclist. If the motorcyclist should fall, you need extra distance to avoid the rider. The chances of a fall are greatest on wet and icy roads, gravel roads, and metal surfaces such as bridges, gratings, and streetcar or railroad tracks. It is dangerous to follow a motorcycle too closely because A. They do not follow the same rules as motor vehicles. B. A motorcycle can stop much faster than a standard vehicle. C. They brake more slowly than motor vehicles. B. A motorcycle can stop much faster than a standard vehicle. Motorcycles can stop quickly and following them too closely endangers your life and that of the motorcyclist. If the motorcyclist makes a mistake, you need to have enough time and space to avoid a crash. What should a driver do when approaching a traffic control signal that is not in operation? A. Come to a full stop and yield the right of way before entering the intersection. B. If the intersection is clear, the driver does not need to stop. C. Drive quickly through the intersection to get out of the way of other vehicles. A. Come to a full stop and yield the right of way before entering the intersection. When traffic control signals are not working, a driver must always treat the intersection as an all-way stop and come to a complete stop, unless otherwise directed by law enforcement. The driver must then look and yield the right of way before entering the intersection. If you are driving and the rear end of your car starts skidding to the left, you should A. Steer to the right. B. Steer to the left. C. Tap your brakes lightly and shift into neutral. B. Steer to the left. If your vehicle enters a skid, you should take your foot off of the brake and steer in the direction that you want to go. For example, if the rear of your vehicle is skidding to the left, you should steer to the left. This will help bring the front of the vehicle in line with the rear, thereby straightening out the vehicle's overall direction. You check your blind spots? A. By looking in your side mirrors. B. By turning your head and looking over your shoulders. C. By looking in your rearview mirror. B. By turning your head and looking over your shoulders. Blind spots are areas around your vehicle that you cannot see by using your mirrors. Check your blind spots by turning your head and glancing over your shoulders. This sign means A. Slippery when wet. B. Stop sign ahead. C. No U-turn. A. Slippery when wet. All roads are slippery and dangerous when wet. This sign warns of conditions that can cause a driver to lose control of a car. A driver should slow down when coming upon wet pavement because it takes longer to stop. This sign indicates A. The distance from road surface to a bridge or overpass. B. The maximum legal height of a vehicle allowed in this state. C. The maximum width of a vehicle allowed on the highway. A. The distance from road surface to a bridge or overpass. This is a low clearance warning sign. It indicates the distance from the road surface to the bottom of a bridge or overpass, in this case, 12 feet, 6 inches. You should not start across an intersection if you know you will block the intersection when the light turns red. A. Under any circumstances. B. Unless you entered the intersection on a yellow light. C. Unless you entered the intersection on a green light. A. Under any circumstances. Even if the signal is green, you must not enter an intersection unless you can get completely across before the light turns red. If you block the intersection, you can be cited.